possible. And they
All right. You are looking live at
by
Safra
moving
Catz
to new
at the
technology
CloudWorld
and advancing
opening
even
keynote.
further than I
I'm
think
Brent
they
Leary.
even imagined
I'm
was
Paul
possible.
Greenberg.
So with that,
I'm Rebecca.
start
you're
with
okay.
one of the most
There you go.
transformative
All right, we're all here,
companies that
and we are
many of us ever deal with
watch
every
what
day.
happens and comment
And
as we
that's
go along.
Uber.
And feel free to do that along with us in the comments section. We haven't
Live.
missed much, just opening hello. So now we're getting into the
We
music.
all know Uber today
Start with
for our
video.
rides, food, easier connectivity, and movement.
Anybody out there, let us
The
know if
company
you're
was
hearing
originally founded
us
in
okay, and if you're
2010
hearing
with
the
a
video
more singular
okay.
focus, providing
Let
access
us
to
know.
transportation at the touch of a button. Now, 13 years and more
By
than
the way, how do you like
39
my view?
billion trips later, Uber is a platform that
How?
continues to solve problems around getting us closer to where we want to be, changing how people, food, and things move through cities, opening the world to new possibilities, all still at the touch of a button. Now, please welcome Dara Khosrowshahi, CEO of Uber.
Thank you, Kara. Thank you. Can you imagine? I mean, you've been CEO for
6 years now.
6 years.
Wow, it's
and
been that
look
long?
at the
6 years.
changes you've made. So 2024, describe the Uber of today.
I was going to make a snarky comment, but I'll
Uber
leave it
today
alone.
now, we have undergone an incredible transformation since I joined, which is great. It's been team sport, so thanks to everyone at Uber who has been a part of that transformation. But really, as we look
Are
forward
you guys
now
seeing
to
that the
2024,
translation
it's
is
all about
actually
growth for
happening
us.
before he gets the
We
words out?
operate at pretty enormous scale.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't notice, but yes.
Quarter. So 2
So
billion
there's some
rides
serious,
to work or delivery
little
of
delayed
food or
action
grocery,
here.
etc.
But only a
And to
couple of
keep
seconds.
growing at the 20+% levels that we're talking about, we have to add 1.5 billion trips every single year to the platform. And that requires us to innovate and build new products, whether it's two-wheelers in Sao Paulo or three-wheeler Ubers in New Delhi, or an Uber bus service that we're creating. You can get 20, 30 people in a single bus, reduce congestion, etc. It's a service that we're building in Egypt, or grocery delivery in Santiago. All of it
I'm
is
not
new
so
innovation and new
comfortable with the
products that
idea
we're
of an
building.
Uber
Or
bus.
now you can use your Uber to get taxis in New York and Rome
So
and
you know they're
Paris
going to
as
have
well.
these
You
certified.
get
All
20
of
or
that growth
30 in a
requires
bus
incredible
with
innovation.
surge
It
pricing.
means building out new products and keeping that
Charge
entrepreneurial
you
mindset
$100
as
for
we get from 23 to
a
24.
crowded bus ride.
So all that changed since 2010. I mean, what were the key decisions that were made and what led you there?
Well, in 2010, and even when I joined the company, Uber was
Lost
all
Rebecca
about
there.
rides,
Yeah.
right? Push a button, get a ride. We were essentially a transportation company. And for us, we decided to use the same
he's back.
technology
Here you are.
ecosystem,
Welcome back.
the pricing systems that we had, the matching, the mapping, to extend transportation of people, also to transportation of food and things, right? Uber Eats, when I joined about 6 years ago, was an idea. It was about 5% of the business. But now that part of the business, which is the transportation of things, is a $50 billion business, all built organically. Our Uber Eats business is just as big as our Uber Rides business. It has been an incredible transformation in terms of the company.
I don't want to be picky,
While
but
COVID decimated our
people are now
mobility
relegated to
the
things.
delivery business grew at unprecedented
Well,
rates.
they're delivering
And
things.
now
I guess
we
that's
are
what he
really
means.
the
We all
go-get
know, but
company.
he's
Anywhere you
literally
wanna
saying
go,
the business is
anything
a
you wanna
business of
get,
things,
we
the
want to be that
transportation of
operating
things
system
now,
for your everyday life.
which
Push a
means
button,
people are Uber Rides
and
is
then good
part of
things
it.
come
I
to you.
said it's picky, but
what
not that
an
picky.
incredible transformation. And I just wonder, I think many of the folks out here, they don't know that you sometimes get behind the car and drive around San
Behind the car?
Francisco.
Meaning he
And
drives.
deliver and pick
It means
up.
get in the car.
Tell
If
me
you're
a
getting
little
behind the
bit
car, you're
about
being dragged
what
around
you
by the bumper.
learned when you were actually in the business on the front line. What'd you learn?
Well, I think you know, Safra, that in order to really understand a business, you've got to put yourself in the shoes of your customer, right? And anyone who comes to work at Uber comes to work because of the impact that our product is having every day, and they use our product obviously for going places and getting food. But what we saw is not as many of our customers use their product from a driver's perspective, right? And we've got 6 million earners on our platform now, and they are very much the customer as well. So we've been encouraging employees, including myself, to drive and to deliver. So if any of you are in San Francisco and you get a Tesla Model Y, it might be me.
Yeah, it's the
Please
car
give
of
me
an
5
ordinary
stars.
Uber
You know, I
driver.
want to keep my 5-star
He is
rating.
a 5-star driver, by the way. 5 stars.
Man, look at all those
For
people.
me, it's
Wow.
been a great experience because I think you take your driver for granted, right? And when you're driving in a city, you're going through unfamiliar areas, you know, to make sure that the rider is having the right experience, to accept the right trips, etc. You really get an appreciation for what it takes to be behind the wheels. And that appreciation is incredibly important when you're building product for drivers. Our roots have always been B2C, right? Business to consumer. We are a first-class consumer product. But when you look at the product that we're building for drivers, it really looks more like an enterprise product. It looks like a B2B product. Every one of these drivers, they're their own small businesses. They run their own P&Ls, and the systems that you have to build have to be there predictably and do what these drivers expect, and then hopefully more.
And that's the kind of resilience that you really need when you are really the platform for their business.
Yes.
And it's really high standards. Consumers, I think every once in a while, they kind of understand, but for a business, a lot of folks are involved. Now, you've had another very, very big change recently because the market's changed, and
Yes,
then
it has.
everybody all of a sudden loved growth. We all love growth, but then started to talk about operating income and profit and all those kinds of things. Well, you just had your first quarter of GAAP operating income while still explosive engagement and changing the business, all doing it simultaneously. So share a little bit about how you did this modernization of your infrastructure while also, well, I'd say doing more, spending less. Many of you have heard me say before. And how'd you do it?
100%. So the words Uber and GAAP operating profit, they haven't belonged together historically, but they will in the future. The demands of the market are different now. And for us, really balancing this growth and profitability has honestly been a skill that has been a learned skill for us as an enterprise. And some of these newer innovative products that we talked about, you know, if we build out two-wheelers, for example, in Brazil alone, our two-wheelers would represent the 6th largest countries in which we operate. It's the Uber Moto product has grown faster than we could have ever expected. And with some of these newer products, it's impossible to predict how quickly they're going to scale, how quickly they're going to grow. So being able to modernize our backend and ecosystem and work with Oracle Cloud, for example, has allowed us to be able to scale these products in a way that we could have never before, without going through all of the, you know, trying to forecast what growth is. Essentially, Oracle Cloud is growing with us, right? And when we look at our growth this year and going to next year, 100% of our growth in compute is going to come on the Oracle Cloud. And that allows you to scale the right way, make sure that your unit economics stay predictable, stay exactly where you want to as you grow. And as a result, Oracle has been a big, big part of our transformation to grow, but to grow profitably as well.
Means a lot to me. As I mentioned to you earlier, for me, every time I see an Uber go by, I think to myself, we're a little bit of that. And makes me just so incredibly, incredibly proud. And listen, what you really basically did is take advantage of the economies of scale
Very
of the
much so.
cloud, where you benefit not only from your own scale, but from the scale of really many of you in this room and our entire
You think we should let
global
Lori
network.
McCabe know that
And
Safra
then,
does a spot-on
when you need
imitation
it,
of her?
It's there. When you need less, you don't have to pay for it.
It does
I
sound
mean, that
quite a
level
bit
of
like her.
elasticity
Yeah, she really
and
does.
economy of scale, You really can't
You know what
beat
interests
that.
me
You can
about this,
never beat
and
that alone.
Salesforce did a
Especially
similar
during
thing with
uncertain times.
Sonoma,
That's for
William,
sure,
William
especially
Sonoma.
during those.
In-depth
There's another
customer
piece that
story
and
as
I
opposed to 10
particularly wanted
smaller
you up here
customer
because I
examples.
wanted to make sure that many
I
of
like
you
that,
out
actually, to tell
here
you the truth. It gives me a
know
better
about
picture of
this
how these things work.
capability because we partner
I'll say
with
this.
Uber in
I actually
connecting
like
our
the way this
retail point
started,
of sale
but
system
it only works because
directly
it's an interesting
to the
story and they're
platform, to
they
the
have a really
Uber
good
driver platform.
conversation
And I
going.
think it's
And
very
Uber,
important because
given the
many
way
of
that
you
they're
are
expanding
really
and what the
struggling
CEO's
with some very
discussing,
giant competitors.
is a
And
perfect
you need
example
to
for Oracle
benefit
Cloud
from the
because it covers the
economies of
range of
scale,
Oracle
really, of
back-end
getting
products, at
products
least.
to
I
your
don't know what they do with the
customer
CX product at
cost
all.
effectively.
Man, that
So
is
maybe
a
you
sea
could
of
share a
people.
little bit of
I
this
know.
vision
global
and what's going on.
scalability data.
Absolutely.
All of
So
it.
one
Yeah,
of the
it
businesses
covers it
that
all,
we're the
really,
most
which is
excited
smart.
about
Again, a
is
smart
Uber Direct. And
example.
essentially what we've taken is,
And it's a
Uber is
brand that
powered by this
everybody knows, so
incredible
it's
Yeah,
logistics
I'm sure
ecosystem.
the
It's
brand that everybody's
6
already
million
taken since they've
drivers
been here.
who are carrying people and then taking food and or groceries, etc. We have taken that logistics ecosystem, separated from our mainline stack, and we're providing it to retailers all over the world.
And that's
And
the
it
other side.
allows the corner
Oracle
retailer
has
to
this
out
amazing strength, which I don't think they
and
emphasize
not
enough
just
in supply
offer
chain and
next day
logistics.
delivery, but it's
They're
same
really
day
good
on
there. I
demand
mean, like
delivery,
really,
which is
really good.
incredibly
They compete with SAP
exciting to me.
easily on that
3,500
level.
brands already
And
use Uber Direct. Apple, for
they don't make
example,
a
if
big
you
deal of
order
it.
an iPhone, you can get it delivered that same day. We want that same delight to come to every single local retailer. And what's incredibly excited about this initiative is the local retailer who's powered by Oracle retail systems now can plug into Uber Direct to offer on-demand delivery and even on-demand returns. If something doesn't work out, we can have a courier come and pick up your returns, take it back to the store.
I always like her
All of it is
interviews. I have to
powered
admit, even though I
through
rest with
Oracle
them, I'm not 100%
technology
on.
and
But
Uber technology and
but when it
logistics.
comes to our
It's
interviews,
one
I
of
do like
our
them.
most exciting new initiatives.
It's so exciting for us because we grow with you. And so what we've covered, growing in uncertain times, profitably, and expanding into all new markets using technology. I mean, how exciting is this? For all of you, Uber Direct is being highlighted in the hub because I know many of you are really trying to solve exactly these problems, and I'm so thrilled to be partnering with you. Thank you. Thank you for working with us. My technical teams love your teams, and I feel
Oracle's
like
right on. I just got this
and I got this
notification from
one of
Eric
your folks
Glazer on
one
how,
time.
hi,
Can't
Oracle and
tell
Uber
where
are
we
speaking
end
at
and
Oracle
you
World
start.
tomorrow
So
in a
that
presentation
is
you
real,
might be really
that's
interested
kind of,
in. It
that's
literally
the joy
just
for
popped
us.
up.
So thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, there's a sea of people. I wonder how many people are actually in here.
I
Just
don't know.
Wow.
so inspiring. Imagine growing
Quite the
20%
crowd.
profitably and
Rebecca, you're
really
about
dealing and
5
expanding
to 7
worldwide.
seconds
For us,
behind us.
they're a spectacular global
weird.
partner and wonderful customer and a true test of
Yeah,
the
there's a lot of lag on my end too.
capabilities of our cloud. Next, I'm excited to hear from Aon about automating sales, marketing, and service while bringing all that data together, focusing on customer success.
Bringing a CRM
Aon.
customer in the mix.
I was just thinking that. Now they go to the front end.
As a global professional services firm that provides a wide range of risk advisory solutions, Aon
How come
is on a
every
mission
time
to
I
equip
hear
and
a
empower
risk
business leaders
advisory,
all over the world?
like
Aon
somebody
provides clients
talking about
in
it,
over
they're
120
from the
countries
UK?
with
Almost
insights and
every
tools
single
to feel
time.
confident in making decisions
They're,
Yes,
I guess they're the only ones who really pay attention
business
to it.
and enable
That's a good
sustainable
accent.
growth.
Good video accent overlay.
Please welcome to the stage Laurie Golterman, Chief Client Officer, CEO for Enterprise Clients for Aon.
You see how the translation spelled Lori? It was
Yeah,
like
Laurie.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you
Sounds
for being
English.
here and
And
for
then
sharing.
it just spelled it
Of course,
L-A-U-R-I-E.
we're both basically obsessed with customer success. So you are not only the chief client officer, though I feel like I am too sometimes, you're CEO of the enterprise clients. Again, incredible work. You're so focused on putting the customer at the center. Can you share with everyone else here about what that approach means for all, for you all? And I think they're going to learn a few things there too.
Thank you so much, Safra. I love the theme of CloudWorld client success. When I listen to the Uber story, we don't feel successful unless we're helping companies like Uber be successful. And our strategy is really centered around three things: building customer intimacy and the relationships, bringing them relevance and thought leadership to help them make decisions, and then driving impact at the end of the day. So we are so pleased to work with Oracle CX. You are empowering our end-to-end client strategy. And when I think about the relationship, as we've all come out of COVID, the amount of stakeholders we really need to partner with, from the head of ESG, the head of supply chain, CHROs. The world is so complicated today that we've really got to dig deep into understanding our clients at a level I've never seen before. And then the relevance that we bring them is structured around risk capital, which is our reinsurance and commercial risk business, where we're doing everything to protect the balance sheet of companies, to our human capital, which is really end-to-end talent. And the three big themes we talk about there are: how do you reshape your employee mix to meet your strategy? How do you reskill? That's a big one. And then how do you reimagine total rewards, whether it's where you want to work or how you want to have a health and well-being strategy or save for retirement. And all of these things are empowered by moving 20,000 people of our firm into our Aon Business Services. That is the engine that powers all the operations. So Oracle CX gives us that end-to-end strategy, and we are delighted with how we can serve customers today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. But to get to where you are today, you actually started with what a lot of people know of, all those silos of data everywhere. How did you really integrate it, and how did you even decide to have the courage to undergo such a project?
Well, we've always been such a client-centric firm, but when you think about, I've been at Aon for 30 years, and the amount of acquisitions and capabilities that we required, and everybody had their own special system that they said, we can't change it. We have to stay exactly as we are. And we were left with 30 regional and local CRM systems, 6 different global platforms. And when you wanted to serve your client as a global team, it was really challenging to do that. So we consolidated all of those platforms and all of that data into Oracle CX. It was a heavy lift. There was a lot of change management.
I can't get over
now
that.
we can
30
actually
local
serve
and
our
regional
clients
CRM
with
systems.
everyday immediate action around what are their highest and most complex needs that we can serve. And we never could have done that before. We'll soon come out with our global risk management survey. And we're talking about mapping all the relationships we have around the world: Brazil, India, Asia, Europe. And when that survey comes out, we'll be able to sit down immediately and help clients think through everything from: how will you address your supply chain? How will you meet your net zero targets? If these were your priorities, what maybe can you learn from your industry peers? And what are the things in your strategy that are missing that we need to spend time on? You mentioned time in your opening. I think this is where time is so valuable. We have to make sure that we're building all of our strategies in the areas that matter. And by having our Oracle CX platform and our attention on our clients, it's possible today in a way it never has been before.
You know, it's funny, as you're talking, I'm sort of going down my own memory lane of how hard it is to bring systems together. And in many ways, it's not the technology that's hard. It's the people who say, I've got to keep what I'm using. And all of that is so, so much a piece of it, and the change management. But you've now gone and automated sales, marketing, service. So where does this lead you moving forward? I mean, how does this impact your focus and opportunities that are now available that wouldn't have been able to do before.
Yeah, I love the question. When we think about sales and marketing, today we're really thinking about the big categories of the conversations clients want to have. So that could be in workforce optimization and resilience. How do we make sure we're all ready to get through the challenges of today? It could be in digital transformation, which is what everyone in this room is an expert, certainly focused on. So we have built a data analytics service platform and housed all of our internal and external sources of data that our colleagues and consultants can now deliver on what we call one end of the spectrum, which is the brilliant basics, all the way through to the more complex consulting. And the brilliant basics, listening to Uber before, you've got to have proof of auto insurance or nothing moves. You've got to have proof that you have coverage when you have a loss. So by having this one platform, we can really deliver on the basics in our service, but then we can also do the more complex. 1% of employees drive 40% of the medical cost in most companies.
Wow.
These are your high-risk claimants. So we're using predictive analytics to help people see how to avoid diabetes, cancer, and work with your primary care physicians and really building out that holistic well-being strategy. And so building a global strategy that's executed locally is something we can do now with the wonderful Oracle CX and the way we're thinking about harnessing all the data and analytics together.
Well, you've done the hard work in many ways. Now you've got all your data. So, of course, many of the folks out here in the audience have come to CloudWorld this year to hear about AI.
It's interesting, just in
And
terms of the way they're
of
doing
course,
the
to
digital
have the foundation,
broadcast.
you've
It's
got to
working,
have
but
the
it's not
data.
quite as
So
similar to
maybe you
Salesforce's,
could
but
share
not
a little
quite
bit about
as
the vision for the future
elegant, I would
for
say.
using AI.
Salesforce kind of nailed it. This kind of
really
sort
to
of,
run the business and have
it's pretty
better
straightforward
opportunities and
here.
outcomes.
AI will be one of the biggest
So it
topics
tends to
here
lean to
and
the
in the
be
future
in
for
the
quite some
audience
time.
and
And Oracle's
you know,
wonderful
be actually
leadership. I
sitting
know
in the
we'll all
audience
leave this
experience.
conference more educated than we came. And
Right, but
AI
it's
for
still
us
working
really
okay.
starts with industry. When we're sitting
You
down
notice
with
how-
a financial institution talking
I just
about
noticed
customer
how nice the
satisfaction,
background
fraud protection,
Yeah.
that's
is in the
very, very
background,
different than a life sciences
because it looks so
company
much
who's
different
literally
in the
using
Uber.
artificial intelligence to cure
It's our
cancer,
buddies,
to take
man.
research
Hillel
and
and Jim, man.
development,
They're
all
the
the way to
ones.
medicine on the shelves and better
It
outcomes.
really looks like
So
they're
we're
on some
helping
kind of
them really
island.
think through
Yeah.
how to build the skills and the
does.
staff that they need.
Very nice.
Our
It really
data
is.
would
Yeah, it looks
say
great.
only 35% of companies feel they have the
I
right
love this
skills to
particular
meet their
one right there.
strategy, and on AI,
Mhm.
less than 5%. So while we're really helping the fast-paced discussions, we're also really thinking through the risk mitigation strategies. We've got to protect the data, the privacy, the intellectual property. I think this is an early days journey, but moving fast but thoughtfully, I would say, is the message around AI. And for Aon, it's going to make us wildly more efficient on the brilliant basics. We know it's going to help us with the insane amount of calculations we do every day with our actuaries, where what would take weeks now takes seconds, and we know it's going to unlock innovation. So we're thrilled to be part of the AI
This is
conversation.
once
with
again a
leading firms like
compelling
Oracle,
story
and I
from
know I
a
have a lot
customer
to learn from
on
all of you
CX. 2
technology
for 2.
experts out here with AI.
I was
Well,
afraid, to
thank
be
you so
honest,
much.
you
For
know,
us,
that it was going to
it's
be
exciting to see a company
back to that heavy emphasis
hyper-focused
on product,
on the
product, product,
customer,
product,
on
which
better outcomes,
it makes me
all
dizzy
by
when it
building
happens.
the platform first,
I think
bring
they're
it all
taking
together, and
advantage
that
of
puts you in the
Safra's
perfect
strong suit, which
position
is having
to
these
use the newest
conversations with these
technologies
high-level
moving
folks.
forward.
I agree.
Thank you so
Safra.
much, Laura. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
I'm sure there are keynotes that are going to be more heavy like that. I'm guessing CX is going to be one of them.
So this
More
next
product
customer, I
focused,
think
yeah.
many of you wouldn't have necessarily thought I would invite. And you will actually hear a story that I think is really pretty interesting, because the way we focused Oracle is to focus on what is best for our customers. And in this case, it's an SAP enormous database that is moved to OCI. And I want to share with you Loblaw companies.
Why would she think that we wouldn't necessarily expect that? They're basically saying
Since
we
1919,
beat SAP
Loblaw has
here,
innovated the grocery retail
right? So
experience to
I'm
better
not sure
serve
why she would
Canadians.
say that.
It is
It's
Canada's
we wouldn't.
food and pharmacy
PI as
leader,
opposed
as
to
well as
app.
its largest retailer and private sector employer. With
It's a bit,
approximately 2
that's a
billion
bit
transactions
spinning.
each year in its unmatched network of nearly 2,500 stores and national e-commerce options, Loblaw brings food, pharmacy, beauty, apparel, and financial services to customers through many of Canada's favorite and most trusted brands.
Well, that's
The
true.
company's loyalty program, PC Optimum, has nearly 16 million active members and is one of Canada's largest and most loved reward programs.
I can't remember
Loblaw's
the name of
purpose
the
is to help Canadians
grocery store
live
before
life well.
Loblaws. We said
It
this,
makes
I think it was
good food
Dominion,
affordable,
but
health,
Loblaws
beauty, and
replaced almost
wellness
all the
accessible,
Dominion grocery
savings
stores
for
I've
the
ever
future
seen
possible,
in
and
Canada, and
essential style
even in Newfoundland.
achievable. Please welcome to the stage David Markwell, Chief Technology and Analytics Officer of Loblaw Companies.
So David, the video
I wonder
showed
how
a
they
little bit
decided on
about
the
Loblaws, but
nationality and
actually
accent of the
much
voiceover
broader
speaker.
and really mission
I was
focused.
thinking the
Maybe
same
you
thing.
could share with the audience, because we have lots of retailers, we've got banks, we've got people who do parts of what you do, but share the whole mission for the company and dig a little deeper than the video.
Sure. Thanks, Safra. And first of all, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here and to share, our purpose and our business with all of you. So at the heart of what we do is our purpose of helping Canadians live life well. And we do that through, a set of different strategic focus areas, such as retail, pharmacy, financial services, and more.
They're kind of like
Core of our
Walmart,
operations,
actually, in
though,
terms of how
we
much
are a
they have in
retailer,
the
and we
stores.
do that through
Little smaller
many
version.
different formats. We have
They're actually good
conventional
stores,
grocery
though. They're
stores,
little. They
discount
I mean, Walmart's
stores,
up their game a bit, but
superstores, apparel,
they're actually, these
pharmacy,
Loblaws,
beauty boutiques.
you can buy pretty
And
good
that
stuff
gives
in those stores.
Canadians
I've been
access to
in
the
many of
products
them
they
over the
need
last
in a
few
way
years.
that's convenient and affordable. Through our Shoppers Drug Mart pharmacies, we offer not only prescription and services from that perspective, but we also offer enhanced medical services and additional health services and consults as we expand the scope of practice in healthcare. And through our President's Choice Financial Services, we give Canadians access to credit cards, savings accounts, all that support, what they do from a financial service perspective every day. But where the real power lies is that we bring all this together for the
I don't remember where it was, but
customers
I
through our
want to say it
PC
was
Optimum
somewhere in
loyalty
Ontario, but
program,
if I
where
remember
customers
correctly,
can
and don't
earn
hold me
and
100%
redeem
to this, but
points for
part of that
value
expanded medical
across our entire
services were
network, and
private
whether that's our
ambulance services,
digital or bricks and mortar footprint and all
which
those
was really
formats that
striking,
we've
given that
described.
when you walk in, you
But
think
what
you're in
really
a
makes me
giant
excited
Walmart-like department
is,
store.
our focus not just on the products and services we offer, but how we operate. And we've made commitments to reduce food waste from our stores, to eliminate non-recyclable plastics from our operations and supply chain, and to achieve a net zero carbon footprint, all with the purpose of helping Canadians.
It's really a spectacular mission and accomplishing it so well. And I think we get a little bit of insight in how you all think and work because of, I'd say, the risks you're willing to take, the new things you're willing to do. I mean, listen, a lot of people still, not so many out here, but still feel like moving to the cloud is less secure than on-premise. And yet you run one of the largest SAP databases, about 180 terabytes, and you successfully brought it to the Oracle Cloud. But how did you make that decision, and how's it going?
Sure. You embarrassed me because you said it was like enormous or something. So it was like, it is a very large database.
It is.
Sometimes
Canadians for
embarrassingly
you.
so.
I love Canadians.
So we've been on our
Married
cloud
to them,
journey
so.
for almost 6 years now. I've made a commitment to the
Cloud
organization 6
Best
years ago
country,
that we
man.
would run all our
Just, they're
applications in the
awesome.
cloud as we became a much more customer focused and agile business. Obviously, moving something of that
Look
size, and
at
SAP
that.
runs our entire business, all the formats
A
I
little
described
slow,
earlier. It's the
move
heart of
around.
everything that we do, so it wasn't without risk.
Yeah.
We ran a
Look at the
very
background
rigorous
change, too.
selection process. I had a few criteria that had to be
They're
met.
doing, I mean, again, you can
The
see the
first
impact
were really
Redwood's
around
had
making
on
sure
the
that
whole
we had a
company in everything it
platform in the
does,
cloud that was
right? In every
performant
possible way.
enough
Even like when we were
and
at the
cost-effective enough
analyst thing
to
yesterday,
run at the profile
this
we
is the
needed
way
it
the
to.
slides
We
were and
also
the way
needed to
they
be
had
able
that
to mitigate
consistent little green
operational
thing in the
and
corner that
migration
said
risk, right?
OCW.
Because it doesn't
It
come
just was so much better than in the
without risk
past,
to
where it
move
was just,
something of that size in a very
boring.
short time when
Now
we moved it over
it's just
6
this
hours.
element of
Yeah.
That was our
richness
actual
it adds to
downtime.
everything.
And then really also what I was looking for was a partner who was in it with us,
Even if
right?
they are
Who
Patriots
felt as
fans.
much part of our success as we did. And so as I went through all those criteria, and there were many applicants for the role, Oracle came out on top, both from a partnership perspective as well as meeting all the technical and performance requirements. And so we've been running there for over 6 months, and we've certainly
No, it's
achieved
interesting.
everything
I would
we
like to drill
hoped
down
to
more, and
from
you
both
don't
a
hear much
performance
about this
perspective.
really
Our
on
critical
stage, but
workloads
maybe
run much
we can do
faster.
something about it with
And
one
we've
of our
seen,
shows.
a meaningful
It's
improvement
just
in
more on
batch
Oracle
and
partnerships.
transactions. That's unlocked
I
a
don't
number
actually
of
know
capabilities for our
exactly. I mean,
business.
I
And going back
know
to your first
individually
question
here and there how they work, but I don't really
about
know it
security,
from
we also use the
Oracle
opportunity of the
side, like where I
migration
do know
to
Salesforce's
increase our
or
security posture
Microsoft's or
from an
even
SAP
SAP's.
perspective,
I don't really know
to
how Oracle
automate
thinks about
all
its
of our maintenance
partnerships clearly
routines
at
and
all,
overall
but he made
increase
that
the
point
resiliency of the platform.
there, which was
And all those things
striking.
help me sleep better at night. And I just really wanted to show my appreciation for Safra, because before the migration, I'd asked, her for a meeting, and could she personally guarantee it would work?
Yeah.
And she's like, text this number. And so I did. It was her number, it turns out, and she replied back. And we you reached out the night of the cutover, the morning, and then through the hypercare, over the next couple of weeks to make sure that I knew, and that the leadership of Loblaw knew, that Oracle was right there with us, and I certainly appreciated that.
I have to say, we were as happy as you were with the outcome. It was truly a partnership again with you. And in a way, it melds very, very well with where our hearts are, because both of us are very focused on transforming the healthcare ecosystem. I know many of you have heard us talk about this, but maybe you could share a bit of the vision and the opportunity, sort of the crossover between healthcare and technology, and how automation will really change that.
Sure, it's a great question. And in Canada, I'm sure like most parts of the world, Canadians, suffer with access to not just healthcare, but health information. And so we've made it, a part of our purpose to leverage, our vast network to, help deliver healthcare services to Canadians and to make healthcare information, more accessible. And while we do that, Canadians trust us with their data, and want to make sure that it's secure, that it's accessible, and that our experiences
anybody
are
with anything.
personalized to them. And so we have a number of health
The most
outcomes or
trusting
health
people I've ever
journeys
met.
that we've enabled around medical adherence, where we can ensure that patients stay compliant to their medication through reminders and through specialized care. For chronic patients, we have personalized messaging that goes out to them to help them stay on their programs. And then we have our PC Health app, which allows customers to link their biometric information, blood pressure readings, diet, healthcare, prescriptions, all into
Do you remember
one
a few years ago
that allows
Microsoft
them,
decided
along
to
with
do
care
that and then
journeys
they
and other
shut it
wellness
down?
programs to help
Bob
them
Stutz had a
manage
lot to actually do with
their
that, but not to
healthcare.
shut
And this
down.
is really part of our strategic imperative around our connected healthcare ecosystem, as we really try and help move the healthcare situation along in Canada.
Thank you, David, for sharing, because what it shows is that as you move to a very performant, cost-effective foundation, you can then expand into new areas that are critical really for the success of the business and for your country, which is amazing. So thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Every one of these case studies has been really smart and compelling. Every last one.
It is.
These customer
It is
stories.
really inspiring to hear about what our customers are doing. Our next customer is actually Tim Brazil, and they decided to move not a little of their business, not half their business, but all their operations to the cloud, and you're going to hear about that next.
Tim
That was
Brazil
almost sort of
is a
like a talk
telecommunications
show
company that
tease.
serves Brazil under a mission to evolve together with courage and transform technology into freedom. The company is recognized for leading important market movements since the beginning of its operations and standing at the forefront of digital transformation in Brazil, helping enable innovation in agribusiness and other impactful initiatives. Tim remains a leader in 4G coverage in Brazil and a pioneer in 5G activation networks. Welcoming to the stage, Leonardo Capdeville, Chief Technology Information Officer.
They're going to call it
for Tim
Leonardo.
Yeah, the Capdeville. The Capdeville.
Okay, I'm not going to let it go even 1 second. So, all right. You're on premise, and you decide we're moving everything, not a little, not half, like I told him, everything to the cloud. You have to share with everyone how you did that, because you were the first communications company in the world, and you've got 62 million customers, and boom, move the entire thing to the cloud. You've got to tell this story.
Thank you. Thank you. We are very honored about this history, because we have to remember that when we take this decision was in 2020. We were in the early stage of the COVID pandemic. So imagine all the uncertainty that we had at that time. But at the same time, we look ahead and we see that the next 3 years will be the most critical and transformational for our history as a company, because we were finalizing one M&A discussion to consolidate the market in Brazil, acquiring a new company with a lot of assets, spectrum, towers, including 16 million customers. After that, we were discussing about the 5G auction, what means a lot of opportunity, but some kind of obligations. And looking at that, we see that we need a very, very strong balance sheet to do all this investment. So we have a very interesting statement as our proposal, that is, evolve with courage, transforming technology into freedom. So we decided to move on. And when you look at the results after these 3 years, it was fantastic. For example, for the M&A, after to be approved, in just 1 year, we integrated the both company, all the assets, including migrating all these 16 million subscribers. Just 1 year. Imagine, without all the facility that we have in the cloud, it will be impossible. Secondly, we were the first company to launch the 5G standalone in Brazil. And until now, we are the leader in this technology. Again, without all the capacity that we have in the cloud environment, it would be impossible. The third is about the financial constraint. When we started the move to cloud, we expected some benefits, but in the end, we have ahead of that. We reduced our TCO in IT infrastructure in more than 30%. 30%, yes, it was fantastic. Wow. But last and not least, we improved the performance on the main systems. So for example, in CRM, that is CBO-based, we reduced the answer time in more than 50%. We improved our billing performance, and we improved our SAP performance too. So it was fantastic. It was good to have this kind of courage on that time.
I mean, incredible. Think about it. It's COVID. You've got 5G rolling. You've got acquisitions and all sorts of things going on simultaneously. You move everything to the cloud, and you have a TCO improvement of 30%, which we would all kill for, and ultimately better performance, so you serve your customers better. I mean, truly, truly incredible. And yet, tell a little bit about some of the strategies and some of the challenges of securing so much personal data and all sorts of data.
Yeah, so you said, well, we were the first to do that. So we have to learn with ourselves. So when we started this movement, I guess that the planning was the key, no? So we work together with our providers, and since the beginning, we involve some kind of special stakeholders like cybersecurity, legal team, compliance, to guarantee that all the risks was evaluated and mitigated. Also, the most important and challenging was to change the mindset of our team. The mindset
This is supposed to go till what
is the
time?
key point.
11?
And what we show is that, okay, guys,
So this
we
is
know
basically
that now we
the
are
keynote is
operating our
customer
own data
stories,
center, but we
period.
will move ahead and we will manage
Well,
our
it
ecosystem
feels like
on cloud-based.
there's so many
Imagine all the
keynotes. I
opportunity
think
that we
this
have
is
there.
her
So I guess
focusing.
that
Larry's probably
this
going to be
was
him on
moved the
stage
team
and, you know,
for this new kind of
slides
skill.
and talking on
I mean, you think
stuff.
about it, this was really courageous, but what you said was,
Yeah.
again,
Larry
what
will
I've
be back.
always believed. It's about the mindset. It's about the courage. It's about the leadership, because you really wouldn't be where you are now if you hadn't done it. You wouldn't have the capacity. You wouldn't be able to move forward the way you're doing it. And it really is a testament to your team. And it's also, of course, been a joy working with you all. And you also leveraged one of our newest and closest partners, Microsoft. And the work we were doing, again, we feel like everything's changed at Oracle, because now, again, focusing on what you need, we realize bringing Microsoft in, working closely with us, is going to meet your needs. Maybe you could share sort of your thoughts about how that whole partnership has worked and what it meant to you guys.
Sure, it was a surprise, I should say a gift, because at the beginning, when we were evaluated about the cloud providers, each one has their own capacity and specialty. So for example, when you look at our CRM, it's CBO based. When you look at other system, it was based on Windows OS. Some systems was more database oriented, other was front end. So how to build the best of that? When we received the answer confirming that Microsoft and Oracle was together, was like, wow, now we can choose the best of each technology and to apply that in our system. So it was amazing, And one important thing here, and I'd like to make a special thanks for the Oracle team Brazil, and that is led by Luis Meisler, is that Oracle was focused beyond the technology on the customer needs. And it was make the difference totally. Yeah, I appreciate that so much, and thanks for your effort to do that. We were the first case in the region, so we are very proud about that too.
And we are so proud to be part of it. And in a moment, I'm going to show you something Luis Meisler actually sent me when you all were done, so everyone will see how much it was pride for us too. And finally, I guess I get to ask you, now that the cloud transition is really well on your way, talk a little bit about the new opportunities that open up in front of you because you've got this unbelievably performant and cost-effective platform.
Well, I guess that the move to cloud was the first step. Imagine, again, talking about freedom. Now, we don't have more to have the concern about the data center facilities, the hardware obsolescence, the connectivity, and we can be very focused to move our organization to a data-driven organization and to use the best of the AI. With that, we can move ahead and to deliver the best service and products for our customer and for our company. So we really believe that we are prepared now to move and to make this leapfrog for a new kind of organization in a new environment.
It's exactly, again, the goal. Benefiting from our economies of scale gives you that elasticity and availability that you need to expand. I mean, this is the perfect partnership, but I do want to share you with you and with all of you what Louise sent. I hope they've got a picture. I have it on my phone. That, by the way, is what your empty data center, one of them, look like. And I can tell you that seeing that, I know how proud you are, but I feel like we are so proud too. So thank you for letting us be part of it. It's really amazing, and thank you for the courage.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, our next customer is one that many of you know we've worked with for years. They are over 100 years old. Can you imagine? And yet, most recently, they have truly transformed themselves into a global automation company. So with that, Emerson.
I thought
Emerson was originally
I don't know why I
in
was thinking
1890 as
a global
manufacturer of
automat
electric
company.
motors
So
and
I was thinking
fans
of
out of St. Louis,
Horning and
Missouri.
Harding automat.
Over the past
They're
100
over
plus
100
years,
years old.
the company has grown from a regional manufacturer into a global technology solutions powerhouse, providing innovative solutions for the world's essential industries. Through its leading automation portfolio, Emerson helps manufacturers optimize operations, protect personnel, reduce emissions, and achieve sustainability goals. Join us in welcoming to the stage Ram Krishnan, Executive Vice President and COO of Emerson.
Hey, Ram.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Wow. You're going to walk this group through quite a lot of changes in a minute. But before we do that, talk a little bit about how you really handle the global scale by being consistently high quality and yet also meet the local needs, and how you organized yourselves to be able to be both local and global at the same time.
First off, Safra, thank you for the opportunity. It's great to be here and a great honor to talk about this partnership. Just a little bit about Emerson. As you know, we're an industrial technology company, and we provide and deliver mission-critical automation solutions to a variety of essential industries: energy, chemical, power. In fact, 50% of the power generated in the United States is on Emerson control systems. The top 25 pharmaceutical companies use Emerson automation systems, and now semiconductors. So a lot of very important essential industries. And we run a very global business, operate in 80 plus countries, 130 factories, and 14,000 suppliers. And given that complexity and what our customers expect, which is speed and resilience as it relates to how we take care of them. So it was very important for us to architect a manufacturing strategy, which was a global franchise approach to how we deliver our capabilities to our customers, built on a digital footprint, which is our Betsy Oracle EBS single instance, which has been a journey, but a very, very important differentiator for us because it gives us the cost position and the resilience and the global scale to help our customers help us meet our customers' expectations. Now, we augment that with regional production capability and regional supply chains for the necessary speed. And this formula, where we have a standardized approach to our global manufacturing, order to cash, procure to pay, manufacturing, supply chain, across our disparate product lines on that single instance, but have fast regional production where we manufacture in the region for the region, has really been a competitive advantage. And it's withstood the test of time, particularly during the COVID pandemic, where we were able to deliver to our customers with this franchised approach. And Oracle has been a great partner in this journey. Kudos to the Oracle team for the support. And we're not done. We have an opportunity to make that OCI migration that we're working very hard on and get more applications on the Fusion Cloud, which is very exciting.
Yeah, we're so thrilled. Some of you probably know I've been the executive sponsor for Emerson for decades. And so it's we have our own little Emerson Oracle statements, but I don't want them to feel bad, so I won't mention it. I will tell you that some of the folks in the audience probably don't know that you started actually as an engineer in the factories. And I wonder how, you were hearing Dara driving around in Ubers. I'm wondering how this kind of changed your thinking and impact sort of the decisions you make as Chief Operating Officer.
Yeah, you're spot on. I've been with Emerson for 30 years now and started as an engineer, worked across almost every business within the company, 11 different roles, lived in Asia and the Middle East, many parts of the US, and worked in all of our factory operations. And one thing it's taught me operating in the factory environment is truly the bias for action. I think it's a very, very important attribute for us in operations. And the other element that has really influenced me over the last 30 years is the role of technology and how it has helped deliver on that speed and resiliency, as I talked about, with that bias for action. So as an operating officer, my role in the company, as is every operating officer's role, is to convert that vision into results with a bias for action. And one of the terms that I use with my team is vision without execution is hallucination. So, I think it's very important that learning that I've had and we've all had, and applying technology to drive action in an operating environment is truly a competitive advantage.
It's funny, Leonardo talked about mindset. You're talking about bias for action, leadership. We were talking about courage. I mean, you're starting to hear a theme about how important it is not to just think about it, but to actually move forward and change, especially in times like this, when the markets change, the industries change, things are pretty much changing around us, really, just while we sit here and hear Emerson talk about change. You have to share with this group the way the company is literally completely transformed into this cohesive automation company within just a couple of years. Truly incredible.
Absolutely. An exciting, really exciting last 24 months. And the transformation of this 130-plus-year-old company to what is now a cohesive automation company, exposed to secular tailwinds like digital transformation and sustainability, certainly energy security, which is meaningful to most countries we operate, and then the reshoring that's happening. None of that can happen without automation. So we were excited about the growth prospects and how we can become very, very relevant to our customers with a world-class technology platform, which has all of the sensors, controls, and level 3 optimization software to help our customers in the journey. And what is most important to our customers today is what I define as the dual challenge. Every one of our customers is looking to unlock more capacity and more production while balancing their aspirations to run their operations more sustainably. Automation and that complete tech stack has a very, very important role to play. So we sensed that opportunity and we repositioned the company to be a pure play automation company. We did $18 billion or deployed $18 billion of capital to bring the right assets into the fold, primarily software, and we divested $18 billion of the company to where we sit today. And what's most exciting about this for us is while we've helped our customers drive the vision of from an analog process control plant to what is a digitally connected plant today, frankly, the future is even more exciting, where we now have the opportunity with the technology capability to help our customers move from a digitally connected plant to what is a self-optimizing or an autonomous plant with a software-defined automation strategy that links the intelligence in the field, the sensors, to control at the edge, to applications on the cloud that can deliver the type of performance customers are looking for. And we as an automation company are uniquely positioned to help our customers do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's automation, it's autonomous, it's artificial intelligence. And in fact, we're partnering with you on the factories of the future. maybe you could share a little bit about the endeavor from your perspective and some of the technologies that we're going to bring to bear in bringing modern technology, including AI, into the factory floor, sort of that last place it arrives in many cases.
Spot on. You know, for an operator, the most exciting times for us are just ahead of us. And the next frontier, and frankly, the final frontier, is the digital transformation
final
of our
frontier.
factories. This, as you know,
Heard
in
that somewhere
disparate
else.
operations,
Yeah.
there's a lot of complexity
Tricky.
there. But technology has evolved where the digital transformation of the factory is going to unlock productivity, drive uptime and reliability of the assets in the factory, drive top quartile safety performance while delivering the sustainability results and outcomes that we're looking for. So we're very excited about the role of technology. The other important factor here where this partnership is really important to us is factories generate a lot of data. The assets in a factory are instrumented. There's a lot of sensors that generate data. The control at the edge, the PLCs that drive the assembly lines generate a lot of data. And we believe that a cohesive software platform with applications running on the cloud that can harness that data into actionable insights can unlock a lot of value in our factories. That's what we've done in the office. Now that translates to the factory, and Oracle, as a journey partner for us, is in a unique position to bridge what we're doing in what we define as the OT environment to what has already happened in the IT space. So very exciting. It is a final frontier for us, and it is a journey, but one we're very excited about.
It is so exciting, and for me, all these years working with Emerson, it is like, once again, a new Emerson. And companies like ours have been around a while. You know, the way to survive is that bias for action, that moving forward. So thank you. Thank you for sharing with all of us.
Thank you for your support. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Amazing. Thank you so much.
I'm guessing this is going to be the last one. This was the last.
This is so much fun, and we're almost at the end, though, because I'm going to top this group up with First Solar, who, imagine this, they took 26 systems of our competitors, SAP, Workday, Salesforce, and they went ahead and rolled it all into Oracle Fusion applications. But what I want you to hear is why and how and what's been possible because of that. So, for Solar, next.
Huge screen.
First Solar is a solar technology company with a mission to advance the fight against climate change. From sourcing to manufacturing to module recycling, First Solar's technology embodies sustainability and responsibility towards people and the planet. With products that are solar designed, built, and delivered.
Do you want to introduce our analysts while we have a chance?
Yes, I do.
Welcoming to the stage.
So, to wrap this up, as we are going through First Solar, we want to bring on someone that you haven't seen on the show before, but he's one of the most astute analysts in the industry. This is PJ. He works for Tech. He is, what you'll find with him is he's got an edge, but he goes deep, and he's really good at it too. I mean, if you're smart, you'll go read his evaluations of companies and technologies at the TEC site, Technology Evaluation. So PJ, here you are. Welcome, sir.
First of all, you got to shut down your audio for the live stream, because you'll be able to hear it here. I'm bringing you back on.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
But live stream audio. You still got the live stream playing on your end. You don't even need it. Yeah, because you can see it
Our
here.
business model is based
You'll
on
see it here.
right?
You literally can just watch the live stream.
Okay, but how do I disable the live stream?
Most of the industry is based on
Just
silicon.
mute it.
Just close the window.
Just mute it.
Use a
Yeah,
semiconductor,
you can close the window. That'll take it all the way up.
really over the life of a solar panel, you get more energy.
Sorry, I'm really new here, and thanks for your great intro, Paul, and thanks for letting me into this like esteemed.
You still got it up.
Seamless. So under one roof,
It's still, I can hear it.
about 4.5 hours
Did you
later,
close the?
you
Did you
have
close
a solar panel ready to ship to our
close
customers.
the tab on your
The third
side?
thing is our supply chain. Right, wherever
You have a tab for the live stream?
It's still doubled. Somewhere it's still playing.
Leveraging domestic supply chain. So
All right, I'm
that
gonna try it one more
not only
time.
gets us more supply close to our plants, but it also adds several
You have it
which is
2 times.
pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Right?
it's
And the
still
fourth
playing
thing
on
is
your end,
we have
PJ. I don't
a
know
history of basing our
if you were able to
company
close
on
the tab or
sustainability,
not, but
and we call it responsible
every time I
solar,
take you off mute,
right?
we can hear it. So let me try
we
it
have the
again.
lowest carbon footprint, lowest than pretty much every
Still
other
there.
but we really
Duplicating.
take that to heart,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't make a sense to
Unfortunately,
produce a solar
yeah,
panel that takes
unless
years to
you could
offset
close that
the energy
tab,
it took to produce.
we'll
In
still
our
hear
case,
it.
it's 2 months payback.
Let's try it
So
again.
That's pretty cool. And then one other thing I'd just like to highlight is
Yeah.
cadmium
I don't know.
tellurides are made
Something's
secret
going on
sauce
his
type
end, but
concept. I guess it's not secret anymore. I just kind of let it out the bag.
you know, one thing I like
but,
the
with that semiconductor,
bringing on
we can
the guests.
actually recycle our
I
solar
think it's
panel,
gone a little
right?
too
And
long.
we've been doing this
at
for
this
years,
point.
but you can recycle about
And
90% of that panel
or
and
maybe
reuse
we
it.
could
And that
figure
cadmium telluride can actually
figure out a
be
way
used
to
41
make it a little
times.
different, to change it up.
You're actually getting energy out of that one
But
element
an hour
for
plus
over 1,000 years.
kind of sit down
I mean,
Q&A
these are
is kind of
just
getting a
incredible,
little
and
too long.
It's so
I agree.
important.
Maybe one
because
too many
you meet
customers.
Your mission
Exactly.
goals, but also are able to run a business.
I mean, they've been good, but
4 or 5
it's just a
years
little
ago,
long.
the company
All right,
really
DJ,
was
let's
at
see what we
a
got here.
serious inflection, and you really had
Still there.
to make
It's
changes.
still there. I don't
and
know.
decide
I don't
how
know if
you were
you've.
going to run this business.
It's got to be up somewhere. I don't know
Share
where.
with
Do you have it
folks
up
out here,
twice?
because so many of them
I wonder
are
if he has it
going
up
through
twice.
Yeah, maybe you have
industry
two.
changing
Okay, let's try again.
issues, and they've got to make some bold moves.
Yeah.
We don't hear him
Actually,
now.
it started back in 2017. We had
I
a
think he
smaller
muted
footprint
it.
as a
Yeah, I
solar
can't.
panel, and
Oh, there it
the rest of the
is.
industry was
Can you hear me
really
now?
getting into panels. And so we
Yeah,
We're hearing you, but we're also hearing
The echo is still there. Yeah.
I wonder why.
in, and now we have a
was
really
that
big solar
headphones?
panel that's
PJ, you have headphones?
and so that took a lot of courage.
You're on mute.
And so part of that is we also looked at what are we really good at, right? We're good at technology. We're good at manufacturing.
Are you on the
LinkedIn? Over the course of the
No,
life of
I'm,
the solar industry, we were in
I'm simply, I went through the StreamYard.
maintenance. Now there's a lot more companies that
So
do
the
that.
thing
It's
is,
not really differentiator. So
he
some
is
have
next.
those businesses.
But every
So
single
we had
he's on.
brand new plants. We had to divest.
As soon as I take him out, none of us are
and we
echoing.
were left with a lot of.
I don't know what's going on.
I have an idea.
And so we looked around and said, what
It's
should
going
we
to be
do?
a little tricky,
Let's
but I think we could do it.
consolidate our systems.
We only got a
When
couple
she's
minutes.
over and she closes,
Well, you know,
then we
it's
do
interesting.
conclusions.
So again, courage,
and then PJ will,
change,
when you're doing
mindset, just
conclusions,
willing
we'll
to
just be quiet
pretty
and this
much
will be
change
over.
everything.
Okay, and that
Why
way
don't-
we
why
can
don't we
we'll
just-
hear you
why
and
don't
we
we
won't hear
just mute
anything else.
how
Let
to
it
move
stop and do
forward.
it.
And
Okay, sounds good.
you've got to
All right,
share
so
with the
when
audience
that's how we'll do it. We'll get
with
everyone's
all the
conclusion. 'Cause
pieces, how you
that way we can
actually
get all the
decided
insights.
to consolidate it and what you
Or
were
Paul.
looking for in a partner, because
We could just follow the mute it and just follow the subtitles on Safra.
I know we won't, but we won't hear him. We won't hear
So
him
part of the journey was as we were in these different business units, right? We
because he's muting the
of
whole
course, as
stream
those
if he
businesses
mutes.
came
Or,
up
you
really
know,
quickly,
quite honestly,
we were going out and buying the flashiest.
I don't think there's
thing
going to
out
be
there, right?
anything,
Following the
she's
candy.
announcing anything other
And
than
so part of
when
this
she
was
comes
when
back,
we
going to
got to the point
close and
where
summarize.
we needed to consolidate,
And,
right? We had to do that on the
I
back.
think we've kind of
back
gotten
end
a
of the
hint
business.
around the stories and
And
the
so,
customers.
but what we want to do
Yeah.
is, right, we want to
You
focus
mean, in other words, close out
really
the
our energies
keynote
on
now.
Why don't we
what
just
do
mute
best,
her
right?
That's manufacturing. That's
mute
technology.
this and let's get PJ in and just do some last thoughts.
Spend the money
that makes
and
sense.
our time trying to be the best at all these other business processes.
Sorry, First Solar.
Right? And
no disrespect intended.
transformation was called MVP.
Okay.
All right.
Now, PJ, let's see if we can be echo.
No, we'll still get our echo. That'll happen. But that's what I'm saying. PJ, mute for a sec. And then what we'll do, we'll do our conclusions, and then
we'll
PJ,
all have echo.
You'll be quiet basically when you're doing yours, and then we can do it. We can get away with it.
Well, sorry to be a disturbance. It wasn't my intention. Yeah,
Wait a minute. Now he's not echoing.
No, we're getting it. That's just going to happen.
Well, I don't know what's echoing. What's echoing in your rooms? No idea. Okay.
Well, just think we're getting multiple instances of ourselves, and our egos loves that. Right. So we're good. All right. So conclusions, Rebecca.
I'll jump in. Boy, a lot more formal tone than some other previous keynotes that I've seen. Definitely speaking to the audience. I would love to see them bring in the audience a little bit more, but delighted to see them really talking about its CX and a CX customer in the Oracle keynote, because in previous years that has not happened.
Yeah. Right. And Brent, what are you thinking?
Along those lines, I would say, comparing last week to this week, a little difficult because the Salesforce Plus integration into the keynote really made a difference. This one was very well produced and nice, but it was, I think, like I said, the customer, what did they do? About 5 or 6 customers?
Yeah, 5, I think.
I think after the second one, it kind of started to get a little, it would be nice if there was a way that they could have changed it up a bit, still tell the stories, but make some kind of difference. I like the videos, the little montages they did, and the British accent, of course. But it did get a little long. The stories were compelling, and you could tell they did a good job of putting it together, because they each told a piece of the overall Oracle story, which is good. But it just got a little long. That format for the time period got a little long. Other than that, I thought it was good.
All right, why don't we go to? I'll do it so that way we can all be quiet when you do it, PJ. So what I like, I thought it was a different approach. We haven't seen an approach where they literally didn't do a keynote human being, talking about one thing and pushing all the messaging that way. I appreciated the customer stories in depth, because the one thing it did do, and I thought that was valuable, yesterday, as all of us know, we saw 3 hours of products, and we were all kind of, at least most of us that I know of, were very tired, and it went 3 hours and it went way over. And it was all product, which, to analysts who cover product per se, that's great. To me personally, way too little on company and use case and story, and way too much on product. Today was kind of those use cases and stories, and it covered the full range of what Oracle does as Oracle, not just what we focus on in at least most of our cases. PJ goes a little further, and Rebecca goes a little further too than Brent and I. But it focused on everything Oracle does, and so they were well chosen. And to their credit, the spokespeople for those products were articulate, and they actually managed to cover how they actually use Oracle. And Safra is a good interviewer. She just generally is. To her credit also. So I thought they were well chosen. I thought that was done well. To everyone's point, I thought it was a little too long. As much as I said, no disrespect intended for Solar, I'm glad we cut it off at that point. And on the whole, I was glad not to see a million product announcements on the stage and then the same old woohoo demo. Last week when Salesforce did it, they did a similar. They did focus a bit more on product, but it wasn't woohoo. It was a very solid exposition on the product and its foundation, and the foundation at the corporate level for that product's release and how that actually evolves the company itself too. So I thought, this was a very different approach. At the same time, took what we heard and overheard or heard too much yesterday and turned it into something more valuable. So I'll be quiet there. Now we can all go silent. And PJ, what do you think? Go into whatever detail you like.
Well, Paul, sort of. I don't want to repeat you, but basically, I would really concur with you. Because there was no really like too much technology or whatever, hardly any technology in this keynote, but probably that's all going to be made up in the afternoon keynote by Larry. So I think they probably at Oracle there is probably that division. Larry is product oriented and technology and more aggressive kind of a guy versus Safra, that is like a quieter, business-oriented lady who, as you said, also interviews companies well. And one thing that sort of caught my sort of ears was this Loblaw in Canada, because I also go often to Canada and Montreal, and I know that Loblaw is sort of like a Walmart of Canada. And the fact that they sort of booted out SAP there, that is like a big, huge coup that Oracle managed to do. I'm not sure if they will manage to do that on the supply chain side. I know that also JDA, Blue Yonder, is a big, provider for supply chain for Loblaw. So whether Oracle will try to do that too remains to be seen. So what was sort of refreshing, and also just given that I'm new here on your program, but also I'm relatively new to Oracle CloudWorld, because last time I was at Oracle CloudWorld was probably over 10 years ago. I'm very close to NetSuite, and I go to SuiteWorld all the time because that's more, my cup of tea. Oracle CloudWorld was always too much of a technology, too much about geekware, hardware, Exadata, this data. I would sort of get lost there. So even last night during this pre-briefing and technology, they didn't sort of kill me with too much technology. And it was also, even though it was lots of product oriented, it was also customer oriented, how it can help our customers. So I like that approach. And also before this keynote, I attended one breakout session where there was a sort of a roadmap of supply chain execution and Fusion supply chain. And even though the guy provided what they have delivered and what they plan to do next year, in between that, there was a customer case. There was a company called Aztec or something that also replaced like 17 ERP systems or whatever else globally, and Oracle is able to give them everything that they needed. So I like that softer Oracle's approach to embed the customer story and the customer face in now almost every sort of session, even breakout sessions. Wouldn't be surprised even if in your CX keynote we see more and more customers testifying. So that's sort of I'm seeing a little bit softer face to Oracle, but who knows? Maybe Larry in a couple of hours' time will go back to the good old Oracle. Do I need to mute myself?
Oops. Yeah. So thank you very much. That was very helpful, actually. And we'll bring you on to one of the Playaz episodes too, to talk in more depth about the industry and what's going on sometime soon. Actually, I think it would be really fun to get your perspective on that. And so I think, given that we now have to figure out how to scurry over to the Oracle CX keynote if we're going there, and we have to be there in person apparently. What do you think, Brent?
I think that we'll scurry apparently. And while we're scurrying, I welcome everybody to turn over to the PPN LinkedIn page, because going on right now is Whispered Insights with Esteban Kolsky and Dr. Lauren Vargas. We got multi-programming going on, simultaneous programming.
Wow.
What a gigantic network we are now.
Yeah, we're here. We're huge. We're enormous. Like
that's right. Now we have to use Oracle supply chain.
Anyway, on behalf of PJ and Rebecca, I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
And we are the CRM Playaz, and we will probably, hopefully, maybe, possibly see you this afternoon for Larry Speaks.
Woohoo!
It's going to be, whoa, woohoo for Larry. All right. We will see you later.